Hey, hey, everybody. It's time to grandstand. Go ahead and get your favorite snack, your water, your favorite beverage. Mine would be my water. And let's get ready to grandstand. I'm giving y'all time to go ahead and share it. Facebook, TikTok, wherever. Share it. Tell your friends, hey, come on over. Mother Thresa is about to grandstand. Hey, hey, everybody. Listen, it is Tuesday night, 7:03 p.m. in Baytown, Texas. And guess what? It is time to grandstand with Mother Thresa. I hope that you all have had a great, great week since the last time we were together. And if it wasn't great, guess what? As long as you're able to open your eyes and breathe, you have another opportunity to make it a great one, okay? Anytime that we have breath in our bodies, we have opportunities to make our days better. All right, listen, it's been a lot happening all over, and we're going to talk about what I'm going to talk about. And what is that, you might ask? Well, let's get started. You know, on the last 2 weeks, I talked about boundaries. And when I talked about boundaries, I felt like I needed to do more than one segment of that because I just didn't feel a release in my spirit to let it go. But right now, I think I've let that go. However, what we're going to talk about tonight deals a little bit with boundaries, but boundaries in a different way. Okay. Listen, if this is your first time tuning in to Grandstanding with Mother Thresa, I just get on here and I just talk about what I'm talking about. I typically try to share with the listeners that I talk about the grand things that are happening in my life and in the lives of those that are connected to me. It may be my family, my friends, some of my coworkers, just people in general, but I like to just talk about what I talk about. And a lot of this comes from just lived experiences. Some comes from experiences that I have seen in the lives of others. And sometimes it's just things that it's just the Lord just lays on my heart to just kind of share with people. I like to say that I want to give you all little nuggets of how to use the things or to apply the things that are happening in your lives and how to make those things better if possible. You know, because we all go through different things in our lives and we all have our ways of dealing with things. And your way of dealing with things may look totally different than the way that I deal with things. So I try to give you a different perspective. Because I am a believer, a firm believer in Jesus Christ, I try to base what I share on my belief system. And that is my belief system, okay? And if that is not something that you want to hear about, or if you are not a believer, then I won't say that this is not for you, because it just may be. But I try to share with you all good, wholesome things from a mother's perspective, from a daughter's perspective, from a wife's perspective, from a sister, from a friend, from a good coworker, just a good person. And I try to live my life that is pleasing to God. And if I do that, then I feel like I am making a difference in the lives of those that surround me. Hey, babies. I see somebody say, hey, mama. I think that must be Ned or Candace. That's the only people that's going to call me mama besides Will Caldwell. And I don't think that Will is on tonight. So let's get started. Let's grandstand a little bit. And before I do that, I just want to say, I want to wish my oldest grandson, TJ Culpepper, a happy birthday. You all, the music that you hear that I play every Tuesday, and for most of all of my Monday morning motivation, that's all TJ, y'all. That's my grandson, TJ. He is a master at doing jingles and all different types of things like that. So again, I share with you all, if you all need music, if you need jingles, TJ Culpepper is the person, okay? So happy 21st birthday to my grandson, TJ Culpepper. We love you so much. We love you so much, TJ, and we hope that you are enjoying your dinner right now. I understand that you had a dinner date for tonight, and so I hope that you are enjoying your dinner and your 21st birthday. TJ is a wonderful young man, and I have to share with you all that when earlier today, when I called TJ, he was with my son, William, and Will is also 21 years old. And so I told TJ to make sure that they get a good picture of my two favorite 21-year-olds. And so I'm looking forward to getting that picture. Hopefully they remember. All right. So, hey, hello there, my family. I see both of my girls here. Candace said that was Net earlier, but she's here. I'm glad that you're here on tonight, Candace. My honey is here. I need to find out where my mom is at, because my mom was not tuned in with us on last week. Hey, Miracle. How are you doing tonight? Miracle is my niece that is always here with us on grandstanding, unless she has other engagements. So I want to just thank my family for being so supportive. And let me just say this, you all, and I know this goes out to my other people. And if you're family on here, just know, family, I appreciate you all. Because let me just tell you, okay, that's number one. Let me just tell you, if you've been with me any length of time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But let me just tell you, that's number two. There will always be opportunities for your family to encourage you, okay? We do things not because that's what we're looking for, but it really does feel good when your family supports you, okay? It really does feel amazing when your family supports the things that you're doing. Miracle says she's eating dinner. All right, Miracle. And when they support you, you know, if you've got the support from your family, that means the world to me. I will say it means the world to me, because let me just tell you, number three, that, for example, so when your family supports you, they don't have to, you know. A lot of times people, and I'm not even on what I'm talking about tonight, but I'm just going to kind of talk about what I'm talking about. You know, sometimes we think that our family is obligated to support us simply because they're our family. Yes, it is nice for your family to support you, but they are not obligated. I would hope that because they are your family, that they would support you, but that doesn't mean that they have to. No one has to do anything for you or anybody else. They don't have to. But again, because I am your family, I would hope that you would really support what I am doing. Because let me just tell you, it means a lot, you all. So I want to say, my family, I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all every time that you tune in. My friends, I my friends, my co-workers, and everybody who joins in with us and listen to Grandstanding with Mother Theresa. You all don't know how much this means to me. And so, and the same thing that I want to be guilty of doing. Now, I can't make it to every single thing or whatever, but I try my best when I see something on Facebook or whatever, if I know my family is doing something, I would try to either encourage you all on Facebook, give you all a call, just like I did with my niece earlier, one of my nieces earlier in the week or last week. You know, I took the time from what I was doing to call and to encourage her. And happy birthday, Jabryson, my great nephew. He had a birthday on, I think, yesterday. And then also my youngest grandson, he is our 9/11 baby. Mr. Bean had a birthday. He turned 6 on a couple of days ago. So what I want you all to understand is family. It takes nothing. It takes nothing from you to celebrate one another, okay? And when you celebrate each other, it comes back to you all. It really, really does. I can remember one of the times that I was doing something for a family member, and it was a bit of a stretch, but because I wanted to encourage that family member, guess what? I went out of my way to make sure that I did that. And that is something that it cost nothing to be nice to people. It costs nothing for me to pick up the phone to call a family member. And I'm talking about family because this what I'm talking about is family right now. But it doesn't have to be family. It can be anybody that is in your circle or people that's not even in your circle. You know, we scroll Facebook and we scroll TikTok and we see all sorts of things that people are doing, great things that people are doing. What does it cost you to say, hey, I like what you're doing. Keep up the good work. Okay. Well, I like what you're doing in your city. Maybe we can replicate this in our city. It costs nothing to say kind words to people. But when you are the type of person who you feel like that you can't say anything kind to another person because you don't want to give them, like people say, give them their props or whatever, that's a sad commentary, you all. I think that we have to be some pretty miserable people that we can't find anything nice to say to other people. Okay. I don't know why I got off on that tangent, but I think I said it, so there. But let me just tell you, let me just tell you that it costs nothing to be nice to people, okay? And if you could be nice to people, guess what? What you do for others, God will make happen for you. And I am a firm believer. You don't want them to do better than you. Exactly. And that is such a mouthful because sometimes we don't want people to get above us or ahead of us. So sometimes we hold our praises or we hold our, our congratulations, or we hold within us things that will be beneficial to other people. You all, sometimes it only takes a smile. My husband and I were traveling over the weekend, and we stopped at a place just to go in and grab something for lunch. And as I was going in, taking care of my business, went into the restroom, and there was a lady that was standing there. She was washing her hands, and I came up beside her and I started washing my hands. And so, we were standing there, and as she was finishing up, and I said something like, "Have a nice day." And she just kind of looked at me like, "Okay." And she said, "Thank you so much for your beautiful smile." And I just told her to have a beautiful day or whatever. But I know it shocked her because of the way that she looked at me. And when I walked up, I just started, taking care of my business and whatever. But as we were standing there, I just said, "Have a nice day," or "Have a beautiful day," or something like that. And she thanked me for my smile, not for what I said, but for my smile. And let me just say this, you all, it doesn't take anything, and I'm saying it again and again. It doesn't take anything from us to be nice to other people, because sometimes on your very lowest days, you all, somebody just saying something kind to you, I know I've been there. It picks you up. Okay, it will definitely pick you up. Let me go ahead and talk about what I'm going to talk about. I was going to talk about today about breaking generational cycles. And I was having a conversation with our core team at work. And we start our meetings by celebrating each other and by telling about the celebrations that's happened in our lives. And our admin assistant, our office department secretary, has decided to go back to school. She is 50 years old, and she is going back to school to finish her degree. And so she was celebrating, that was her celebration, is that she finished her first course. And you all, as I was listening to her share about her experiences and her decision to go back to school, I began to reminisce, and I began to think about the decision that I made to go back to school at the age of 28. At the age of 28, because I as soon as I got out of high school, I immediately started Stephen F. Austin. And was I prepared academically? Yes. But emotionally, I was not. Okay. I had a little girl, a little baby. Yes, that's right, Candace. Go, Yesy. Um, I had net, and I had a lot of things on my mind. I was trying to figure things out at the age of 18. I was trying to figure things out. And being in school right at that time, and I've shared with you all, I was a good student. I was a strong student, but I had so many other things on my mind that was taking the focus off of school. So I went that first semester, did, okay, but I didn't do as well as I knew that I could have. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to take a break. And of course, we always say we're going to take this little small break and then we're going to get back into it. Well, my break turned into a 10-year break, a 10-year break. And as I was taking that break, I was steady, living life. Like they say, life was lifing. I had another child in that time period. I had probably bought let's see, at that time when I decided to go back to school, I think we had purchased one house, sold it, and I think and purchased another house. So life was lifing, but I decided that in order for me to make a difference in the lives of not only me in my life, but for the lives of my children and for my husband. Thank God he had a good job and was making, a very good income. But I just knew that I had to break the cycle of not finishing what I started, okay? Because I had started some things in my life, even as a young adult, and I didn't finish that. But I also knew that, my mom, I don't know if she's on here. Mom, I don't know where you are. Why are you not tuned into us tonight? We missed you on last week. Somebody needs to check on mama and see what's going on. But my mom will tell you that she did not finish she didn't go as far as she wanted to go in school. And because of that, you know she encouraged us to do otherwise. She encouraged us to finish our college and everything like that. She didn't force it on us, but it was something that she did encourage us to do. And so I wanted to do that. I wanted to do it for myself, and I wanted to do it for my family, but I also wanted my children to see me doing something that would make a difference in our lives. And so when I was when I was listening to the young lady at my office, I just began to just look at her, and I thought to myself, I can see you're not, I could see it in my eyes, mine, as people would say, how it was going to benefit her and her family. Because you all know that when we're working on certain jobs and certain positions, just like when I was working for Nacogdoches County Co-op, they start you out at a very, very low salary. And guess what? It doesn't get very much higher. So when you are in certain positions, when you cap out at the max amount of your salary, then you don't get another raise. So you can be in that same position for year after year after year after year, and you're not getting another raise. Okay. So I was just looking at her, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I can only imagine what her future is going to look like. And as we began to just sit there and we started talking, and God just gave me some things to just share with our team about, the women around the room, and how, we had as older ladies that were in the room, myself and my director. I'm, of course, the oldest, but we were just talking about how we had encouraged others in our office. I'm just going to put it like that. But when you start thinking, or I started thinking about, breaking the cycle, sometimes there are different cycles in our lives that we struggle with. And sometimes we struggle with them in silence, in secrecy. We don't want people to know about the things that we have maybe endured, or the generational cycles, or the sometimes it's generational curses that have you know kind of racked our families. And so we don't talk about those things. One of the things that I did share, that, and I can just say for me, I'm not condemning anybody else, but I'm just saying for me, I knew that I never wanted to uh, drink alcohol. And I say that because, and again, this is me. I say that because as a young child, I grew up watching my uncles and aunties, and my mom for a short amount of time, my grandparents. I grew up watching them drink. And I also, not that they would just get what you call sloppy drunk. That's an old term. But I just also know that that was not something that I wanted to do. I did not want to wake up that gene, that DNA gene that was in my family line, because sometimes you do not have control over certain things once they take a hold of you. And so that was just one of the things that I didn't want to do. Okay. I can't say that for anybody else except for Thresa. And so that was a decision that I just made. But when you talk about breaking the generational cycles, again, sometimes it's the things that we struggle with in silence. And so sometimes it's addiction, sometimes it's just a lot of different things. But going back to what I was saying about, just wanting to make sure that as I was sharing or listening to the celebrations on with my co-workers and my team, I was just reminded of how good God is, and how good and how faithful he is. that if you make up your mind and if you decide that, hey, I want to be I want to be the person who changes the history for my life, or I want to change the narrative for my family. There is nothing wrong with you wanting to change the narrative for your family. As long as you have supportive people. And I started out by saying that it is a wonderful thing when you have the support of your family. And what I will say about my husband is that I could not have ever done the things that I have done as it relates to school and everything like that. I thank God for that. Of course, without God, I couldn't do anything, but I could not have done it without the support of my husband. Because guess what? For years, while my girls were younger, I was in school. So that meant I was going to work during the course of the day. And at nighttime, I was at school. I was in somebody's classroom. So that meant he had to take care of my kids. He had to cook. He had to do whatever he needed to do. And he had to make sure that, I say my kids, they're his kids too. But he had to be the one that was responsible for taking care of the girls. Now, he worked full time as well, but it was because of the support that I was given by my husband. Uh, Thank you. Thank you, Miracle. Um, I wanted to make sure she was all right because, Mama is normally the first going on. But so breaking the cycle, sometimes it's not just a you doing it. It is with the support and the help of your family members. So if we band together as a family, you all, we can do almost anything. If you have the love and support of your family and your friends, those things that seem like they are so impossible, with that support from your family and your friends, you can do it. It may seem like it's a mountain that is too high to climb, but guess what? When somebody is pushing you on and somebody is telling you, hey, you could do it, I've got your back. If you start to fall, I'm going to be right here to catch you. You can do those things, okay? And I want to encourage the young people, the younger people that are on here on tonight. I have these young ladies that's in my life, in my family, that God has blessed them with great talents and skills. And your hands, God has blessed your hands. And he has blessed your hands to do some amazing things. And I often talk, me and Boris used to talk about the blessings of what's in our hands, of what's in your own backyard. What has God gifted you with that could change your life? And some of you all, it is the creative ideas that God has given you. It is the thoughts that wake you up at nighttime and have you running to look for a pad to write it down. It's those things that God gives you late over in the midnight hour or in the wee hours of the morning that will not let you rest until you can jot it down somewhere. It's those things, okay? So if God has blessed you with those gifts and those creative ideas and those artistic abilities, get to work, young people. Get to work. We don't have much time, okay? My husband, we have not even talked about what is sitting on the shelf right here. Where is it? Right there, okay? My husband just recently authored a book. We haven't even had time to even talk about it, but we're going to get to it, okay? We haven't talked about Strong and Steady, which is the name of his book. That's available on Amazon.com, okay? But God gives us great things. He gives us so many ideas, you all. And I was talking to my daughter and also to my husband about what is that thing that God has gifted us with that is going to be the change agent in our lives. okay? Because sometimes all you need is one great idea, okay? One great idea that can take you from your stance in life right now to you being able to live a life that you could have never even dreamed about, okay? So when we're thinking about breaking generational cycles, it could mean a lot of different things. It could be breaking the backs of poverty. It could be breaking the backs of addiction. It could be breaking the backs of, families that are not not close knit, families that don't talk to one another, just all kinds of family turmoil. But guess what? You could be the person to change or to break that generational cycle. Okay. I think about, I'm gonna go back to what I talked about, these young ladies that are on here, that is my part of my family. And you all, I cannot say enough about my family and the great things that God has blessed us to be able to do. When I say that my grandparents birthed entrepreneurs, he did, from generations to generations to generations. I watched my grandfather and my grandmother for many years growing up as a child work Stern's Barbecue. And when I say work Stern's Barbecue, I mean work Stern's Barbecue. Yes, that's my big daddy. Yes. In a little greenhouse in the community of Fellowship, right outside of Woden, Texas. And I watched them work in this little greenhouse, serving his signature link sandwiches and his barbecue. And it wasn't a grand place. In some, in some people's mind, they would say it may have been a shack. It was not a shack to us. It was a house that he built, and it had a kitchen where he prepared his food. It was a dining area where people could dine or they could dance. And it was our first experience with having a business, watching a family member run a business. And Big Daddy and Big Mama made it work for all. They had 15 children, but that was the beginning of, I would say, the entrepreneur side that I witnessed. Now I understand that even Big Daddy's daddy was a great businessman, known all over, Nacogdoches County, for the things that he did in his lifetime. But I'm going back to say this. Those were they broke generational cycles. They did things that caused our family to be in a state where we could then continue to move on and continue to do the things that that we're doing. That's legacy, you all. And I talk about legacy a lot. But let's just remember, you all, and I know that my time is just about over, but let's just remember, first of all, let's be kind to each other, especially in the day that we are living in right now. Let's be kind to one another. We don't know when our words could pull somebody off of a ledge or push them off of a ledge, okay? We can either pull them off or we could push them over. So let's be kind. Let's use our words to be kind and loving to everyone. And then let's also remember to encourage one another. Let's remember to encourage our families, encourage our friends, encourage the people that are doing well, that have dreams, that are trying to be those generational, trying to break these generational cycles, generational curses over themselves and their families. So let's encourage them. Let's let them know that you're doing good. If you can support small businesses, try to help them to be able to purchase some of their products. You may not need another bottle of seasoning, but guess what? I do. Buy another bottle of seasoning. You may not need a cake, a pound cake, but guess what? Buy a slice. You may not need lemonade, But guess what? Buy some lemonade. You may not need a, what they call this, a designer, one of a kind, embellished t-shirt or skirt or jacket, but buy one. You may not need books like all of these journals, but buy one. Okay, buy one and just support the people that you can support. All right, that's how we're going to do it, you all. That's how we're going to help build up each other. That's how we're going to help other people be able to break the cycles, their generational cycles and things like that. That's how we're going to help be able to build up these small businesses. And that's how we're going to be able to show our family and friends how much we care for them and how much we love them. You all, that's right, baby. Pull or push. It's up to you. You're going to push them off the ledge or you're going to drag them back off that ledge. And let me just tell you, sometimes, hello there, my friend, Sister Tina. Sometimes people, because they don't know if you're trying to push them or pull them, guess what? They start fighting against you. Sometimes you got to tell them, just listen, just settle down. I'm here to help. Because sometimes people can feel like they have been so beat down. Hello there, my friend, Sister Sherry. Happy birthday, Sister Sherry. I tried to call you the other day and I missed you, but happy birthday. Y'all, Sister Sherry, when I talk about, when I talk about being kind and loving and just reaching out and sharing the love that you have within, that Christ-like love, y'all, that's what Sister Sherry does for me. And so your support could literally feed a family. Absolutely right, Candace. That's what Sister Sherry does for me. And I thank people like Sister Sherry and Sister Tina and such great people that will just say, hey, I'm thinking about you. I just called to see how you're doing. And not that I want anything, but I'm just calling to check on you. I remember a time that Sister Tina called. And sometimes you all, when I tell you, you don't know that when you are, like I said, either you're pushing a person off a ledge or you're pulling them back off of that ledge. You don't know sometimes when people just need to hear your voice. They just need to hear from somebody to say, hey, I'm thinking about you, that I care about you. And they don't want anything. They don't want anything from you, Teddy. They just want to make sure that you are okay. Okay? They just want to make sure that you are okay, because more than likely God has dropped you in their spirit and they are being obedient. Okay? They are being obedient to what God is saying. Hey, pick up the phone and call somebody or text them and just let them know that, hey, I'm thinking about you. I hadn't heard from you or whatever, or I just thought about you and I wanted to just check on you all. Don't have that feeling and then override it. Okay. And I know sometimes we get busy and because I said earlier, life is lifing. So sometimes we get busy and we don't get a chance to do that. But when you remember it again, and I always say, God, I know I missed that opportunity. Please bring it back around. Bring it back around so I can make sure that I am doing what you need me to do. And he never fails. He'll bring it back around where I'll think about it and then I'll call. And so be guilty of listening to the Holy Spirit and being guided by the Holy Spirit, okay? Sister Tina said, Sherry is an awesome friend and supporter. Sister Caldwell, you have been a blessing to me. Oh, thank you so much, Sister Tina. Sister Tina, you are a blessing to me. You all, let me just say, I appreciate you all. I really do. I could not do the things that I do without the support of the people in my life. And some people say that we all have our pulpits in our lives. Your pulpit may be an actual pulpit in a sanctuary in a church, but I look at this as this God gave me this platform. And so I want to be guilty of sharing the good news that God has given to me and he's bestowed upon me, and I want to share it with other people. My thing is that just as God has comforted me, I want to be able to comfort other people. And so I can do that simply because of the good people that God has placed in my life that are receptive. And sometimes people are not receptive. I started saying earlier is that sometimes people have been beaten down so much to when a lifeline is extended to them that somebody is trying to pull them off the ledge, they mistake that for somebody is trying to push them because they've been pushed for so long. So a lot of times when you notice that when people are drowning, they are fighting for their lives, and sometimes the person who goes out to save them, they can lose their life trying to save somebody else who's drowning because they're fighting. And if they could just calm themselves down and just relax and let me pull you back to the shore or whatever. And that's what we've got to do, you all. We've got to be able to pull people back to the shore because people are drowning out here. They are drowning out here, and they need somebody to kind of step in and say, "Hey, I got you. Hey, I got you." And when they get you, let them pull you safely back to the shore. Miracle, yes, yes, a lot of birthdays in our family. Uh, oh, my husband is saying hello, grandstanders. Veronica, uh, Sister Veronica. Okay, I didn't see you on here, Veronica. Hello there, my friend. I'm so glad that you're on here tonight. Listen, you all, again, I have taken up too much of your time on tonight. I know I try to do about 30 minutes because I don't want to keep all of your time. But I just want to say it one more time before I get off here. I appreciate you all more than you will ever know. And I appreciate you all taking the time to stop by and to listen and just to see what I have to talk about on tonight. And what I try to do, again, is I want to be able to use this platform to do good. I want to be able to use this platform to speak the words of encouragement to other people. And if I can do that, then I feel like I have done what God has given me for grandstanding. God gave me this several years ago with the help of my grandson TJ. I have been able to bring it to pass. And I ran it by TJ and I was like, TJ, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And so he was like, Mommy, that sounds really good. So what you going to talk about, Mommy? How are you going to set it up? What you going to do, Mommy? And I said, I'm not sure, TJ, but you know what you can do to help me? I said, I need you to create music for me. And so TJ, he was like, oh, okay, that's nothing. So on for TJ, I just want to say it would not have it would not have me it what I'm doing tonight, and especially on your birthday, I want to play not only in the meantime, I played that um before I as I was coming on. And I may not have it. I may not have it. I may have to do it a little bit later. But TJ also gave me some other music. And I want to share with you all a little bit of some of TJ's music tonight, as well as I'm exiting. Um, he's given me a lot of music. But I want to say, as I am leaving, because I'm giving uh, um, birthday wishes to all of my September birthdays, to all the people that have celebrated their birthdays in the month of September. And I just want to leave you all with trust in him. Okay. This is some more of TJ's music. And I just want to say, as my sister Cynthia often says, good night, grandstanders. You all have a wonderful, wonderful night. And I look forward to seeing you all on next Tuesday night. Okay? All righty. Bye-bye, everybody. Good night, grandstanders. Y'all have a wonderful night.